The Aaron Judge video was fake, John. It turns out the Judge video was fake. If you're a Ham listener, you knew that the second that video came out of Aaron in a San Francisco hotel, pretending to just be casually seen by a person.
But he was meeting with the Giants when he
Yeah.
was in town. Yeah.
So
he just wanted to make sure the Yankees knew.
He wanted
That
to
was
make
the
sure the
whole
Yankees
point.
knew, which you and I immediately identified. Couple things here, dead giveaway. Now, I did mention one of them already, Detective Haberman on the internet. Nobody posts a video that gets 1 million views in 6 hours and then doesn't do one of two things: sell it to TMZ or claim it for themselves. People are fighting for credit on the internet all the time for everything, right? Everything. I've done it. Here's the other tell. When you're going to do, this is what movies do really well. You know, when you're like filming somebody and like, all right, 1, 2, 3, go. And then they start walking. If you watch that video, you can tell that Aaron begins to walk from a dead stop, which means it's staged, right? They're like, all right, Aaron. All right, here we go. We're recording. 3, 2, 1. Okay, go. But he supposedly had just come through the doors. So why would he be walking from a dead stop if he had just walked through the doors? If you're really getting caught coming through a doorway, you weren't stopped. You're walking. You're trying to get away from the paparazzi. You didn't start from so that was another one of the giveaways that it was staged. So again, something the rest of the world figured out the last couple of days, but all of you knew 2 weeks ago because we were on that story.
Listen, only Farhan and Larry truly know how close or like their confidence level. If they knew they were getting played the whole time or they thought they had a legit chance, it did feel like they were giving the impression, not when everyone thought that he actually signed, but I would say that the couple months leading up. In fairness to them, when I went to that golf tournament and I was playing with my guy Orlando, and he played in the Seattle Mariners system. He ended up tearing his arm. He played at UC Davis, but Matt Chapman was playing ahead of us. Taijuan Walker, who just got signed, was playing ahead of us. Conforto, Chapman were right behind us. So all these baseball guys, and they all know each other.
This is the Hunter Bishop, friend of the show, Bish Music.
Yeah, and I'm a little bit of fish out of water. I don't really know any of these guys. I'm like having to look at like name tag, like that's Conforto. I'm like typing in it. All these guys, baseball guys, know each other because they all fucking go to the minors, right? And you just get to know who's good and who matters. You play each other in college. And I remember being on like hole 8 or 9, and him going, "I'm telling you, all these like they all think he's going to the Giants." Logan Webb, these guys all thought like that was kind of the feel, and maybe that his agent just did such a good job of just putting that out there where internally, because it felt like he was never going to the Giants. If you and I put yourself in his shoes, you're like, you do not, if they're going to match, you don't leave fucking being the Yankees captain. And ultimately that's exactly what happened. But if you get told enough times, like she actually might leave him and she'll marry you, you're like, maybe she will. Like if enough people start telling you that, I do understand where you can put yourself in the opportunity to get played, even though looking back, like, God, we just got played. But how you can convince yourself, because there's different. You and I talked yesterday, like, you just got to be prepared just in case it doesn't go well. I do think it was more than that. Like, I do think in their mind, they thought they like had a legitimate chance. Like with Bryce Harper, when Bryce Harper became a free agent, it was like, I'm a free agent. Like, I'm just doing a rounds, right? Everyone probably thought, if you had the money, thought you could, swim in those waters. With Aaron, it's like, it's going to leave the Yankees when they're good and he's their best player after a historic year. And the Yankees they can't let him leave. And it's all played out that way. But it feels like the Giants internally thought like, I actually think we can get this guy.
Well, I think they probably did. I mean, I think you have to approach it like you really, you have to give it your honest effort, whatever. I ultimately don't think they got played necessarily in the sense that Farhan's been around the block. Like, they know how free agency works. They've dealt with all the biggest agents in the world, right? They've dealt with Boris and all this. Like, there's a reason everyone always talks about, like, oh, a team might get this player because they already signed a Boris client, blah, 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 because that's kind of how the game is played. And, so I think they had to know that there was a chance that the only thing they were there for was if the Yankees deal went bad, because it's not like the Yankee situation, even though Aaron did turn down their offer and bet on himself and then make a bunch more money. It's not like the Yankees were treating him poorly. If he wanted to be offended by their offer, he could have been offended by their offer for sure. But it's not like, they offered him that contract last year when he was a free agent. once he became a free agent this offseason, there was never any indication that the Yankees were like lowballing him or offering him some sort of disrespectful number, right? The Yankees gave him an offer, and then it was on him to go shop around and make the Yankees pay him more. And I think the Giants had to know that, because at the end of the day, what happened? The Giants offered what, like 360. The Yankees had offered 320. The Giants offered 360. What does he want? He wants another year out of the Yankees, and he wants 360 from the Yankees, right? He signed for 9 and 360.
Yeah.
But what ultimately happened? He had to go to San Diego to get offered the 400 mil. Now, since when was San Diego in the mix here? To me, San Diego only got in the mix because Farhan and the Giants didn't go to 400 mil for him. They're like, all right, we'll play the game, but we're not going to offer you a contract that we're actually not going to have you sign. And then it feels like the Padres were like, ah, fuck it, we'll play. And then offered him 400 mil. And then fucking 2 seconds later, damn it. Sorry, Grandpa. Damn. Then 2 seconds, like Kyan and Avery, man, I apologize. Don't do that. Then 2 seconds later, he signs with the Yankees. So the part of it is,
and the Padres are like, oh shit, Bogarts, here's
Xander.
Yeah, 280. That worked.
How many shortstops can one team have? So I do think now part of what makes it really hurt for the Giants is that the Giants always finish. It feels like they finish second left and right. But I do think this one in particular, I think they had to know that their main role was just to be there in case, it's like something about Mary, the guy who's he's got the crutches and he's got the accent and he pretends to be Mary's friend.
Yeah.
But then it turns out he's not handicapped and has no accent, and he's just there in case like Mary will finally notice him and fall in love because she can't find a good man. I feel like that was kind of the Giants. They're just kind of hanging around hoping that the Yankees screw it up. And I think Farhan been around the block enough to know. Now I'm with you. Like, I think you also had to, you start just believing, like anybody, when you buy a lotto ticket, you're like, well, maybe I could win. Then I'll quit my job. Bye, suckers. I think they had to know. The analogy I tweeted was, it's like when you hit a routine ground ball to short, you hustle it out just in case the shortstop throws it away. In this case, the Yankees are the shortstop and the Giants are the guy hustling to first just in case the ball gets thrown away. So, but they still, like, now the question is like, okay, fine, you didn't get Aaron Judge. There's no shame in not getting Aaron Judge away from the Yankees because, like you said, John, who becomes a Yankees legend and then's like, I'm out?
Nobody.
Do they get Carlos Correa? Like, what do they do next?